Welcome back. The Trump administration will soon take another step towards ending federal tax subsidies for wind and solar energy. That follows a deadline set back in July by the president. As soon as next week, the Treasury Department is expected to revise rules for who can qualify for clean energy tax credits, which is part of the big, beautiful bill phase-out, one of the things they're getting rid of. The White House has made it a priority to roll back the Green New Scam set in motion by former President Biden. President Trump considers wind and solar to be unreliable sources of energy, and he believes the federal government has forced taxpayers to pay for it for far too long. For more on what this could mean, let's welcome in Gabriella Hoffman. She is the director of the Center for Energy and Conservation at the Independent Women's Forum. Gabriella, good to see you again.
Good to see you again, too. This is very exciting news to see the Trump administration pulling the plug on endless solar and wind subsidies.
Yeah, tell us why.
It's a great move. It's in alignment with the energy abundance agenda because the government, the last administration, Biden-Harris, were unnecessarily picking energy winners and losers. We saw this week that Ørsted, which was a big beneficiary of IRA green subsidies, nearly on the verge of fiscal collapse on the markets, with their stock just being rated one step above junk. So Ørsted's on the verge of collapse. All these other companies, solar is on the verge of bankruptcy. So it's right that the Trump administration is going to put energy projects right back in the market with energy deregulation and allow for projects that are viable, abundant, secure, affordable to actually proliferate.
What was the name of this most recent company that's failing?
Ørsted, which is the offshore wind manufacturer,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we can put that in the same column with Proterra and also with Solyndra. Some of these big government subsidies, a huge waste of our money. Something we hear President Trump talk about, too, is the wind energy business and how bad that is, specifically for the environment, because these wind turbines, you can't recycle them, you can't put them in the ground, they have to be replaced a lot, and they're a massive problem for the environment.
They absolutely are. They're eyesores on the landscape, and their environmental footprint, John, is abominable. It's 360 times more than a typical nuclear reactor. And there was also another wind project cancellation called Lava Ridge, and I actually personally investigated that separate of my duties with IWF. So I was very happy to see a report of mine help tilt the scales to demolish that project. But they're eyesores. The electricity produced is not reliable, and the mass adoption we're promised with all these green subsidies, not happening. Solar and wind barely account for the electricity mix.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's a win for people who actually like cheaper, more efficient energy in this country. I also wanted to talk to you about your home country, or I guess your parents' home country of Lithuania. Mm-hmm. They immigrated here to the United States. President Trump meeting with Vladimir Putin today, but Lithuania now will be, especially school children in Lithuania, will be learning how to build and use drones. They're launching a new program which includes drone training for children. The idea here is to be able to combat potential drone attacks from Russia. This is pretty cool.
This is based, as the kids say, and I'm very glad that my ancestral homeland, which is a great underappreciated NATO ally, is doing this because Russia is very close in their backyard through a proxy like Belarus and also Kaliningrad to the west. Young kids there, their parents and grandparents remember the Soviet occupation days, and young kids there not only learn about drone safety, but they also learn about free markets, much better than being addicted to TikTok and other wasteful type of activities like that. But the young kids should be adept at this because Russia is still a very pressing threat. And President Trump, ahead of his summit with Putin in Alaska today, is going to understand this because he's very frustrated that Putin is not relinquishing his attacks on Ukraine. And so this is very interesting to see this story contrasted with that. But yeah, Lithuania has been a very underappreciated ally. I know the president has talked to them and other European leaders ahead of this summit. Putin does not have the cards. President Trump has. And with him, working with NATO allies and others, I think he's going to hopefully achieve peaceful means. But it goes to show that Russia is not willing to stop the war. That's what we're going to see here, I think.
Well, Lithuania will join Estonia and Latvia. They also have these drone programs. And we just heard Shelby Wilder reporting on just last night another round of Russian drone attacks on civilian areas. This time, they even killed a little baby in Kiev. So hopefully President Trump will be able to put a stop to that. Gabriella, always great to have you with us.